been shortlisted for an interview. You've been shortlisted for an interview. I'm like, oh my god, shortlisted. I didn't even know the meaning of shortlisted. And then to me, I had considered it as, if I do not get this job, this is the first professional interview I am going to attend. And so I'm going to give it my all. If I don't get the job, that is fine. I'm going to have the experience of my first professional job. And it was a big deal for me. I mean, I was doing my national service. Like, we are in Ghana, you know, you don't get such opportunities at that early. You do not get it. And so, see, I killed myself for this interview. I'm a browser. I browse like I'm crazy. If I do not know anything, I just hop on Google, I hop on YouTube, and then I browse, I listen, I read about it, and then I acquire the knowledge and then I use it. And so I started searching for how to attend an interview, how to walk to an interview, how to even smile in an interview, how to talk in an interview, I searched almost everything, and I looked at the role. And what God did for me was, the person whom I was introduced to way back in school, my roommate, the one who introduced me to World Vision, he had become sort of like a mentor to me. So I called him. He told me to ask for a job description. I'm like, what is a job description? So I moved on and then took the job description, and then when we went through together, and then he was kind of giving me tips on how to go about it and how to learn about the interview, how to learn about the role, how to read about the role, and then what to know, and then basic things, and then use the experience that I have gathered over the years. And beloved, I'm telling you that I had no idea that the hawking I was doing at Kejetia Central Market, the earrings that I was selling in school, the mixologist that I was doing, the hotel receptionist that I did, all the menial jobs that I was doing were all part of the experiences that the job description was actually describing. I was so shocked. I'm like, God, this is it. This is just for me. But I'm not going to claim it, because I'm acknowledging that I do not have the requisite knowledge for this particular job. But then the experiences, the little experiences that I have, please make it useful for me. And I prayed and I prepared massively. I had a book. I literally wrote everything down from YouTube, from whatever I learned. I wrote everything down and I was repeating it. I was learning it like I was going to write like an international exams. And I read about the organization, so I went prepared. I won't joke. So the day came and I went. I mean, I was the first person to get there, and as I was sitting down, some big people were coming in, you know. I saw them like, no shaking, you've got, God is on your side, God is on your side, no shaking, God is on your side. So I was just praying in my heart, I said, God help me, God help me, God help me. And then these people looked like they were so experienced, my goodness. And I was just admiring them. I didn't talk to them anyway, but I was just admiring them. I was like, God, this is my first job experience, my first job interview experience. Let it go smooth for me. If I don't get a job, I'm going to give you praise, and I'm going to build on this experience into my next interview. And I know that in my next interview for whichever job, I'm going to get it. And then as first come first serve, I entered the room, and then it was 6 panelists. I'm like, where from all these people? Fortunately for me, they had this big table, so my legs were under the table. I was shaking, like my legs were just shivering. This was my first interview. I still remember, it's like, and then the questions started flowing, and then they asked me and then I'll answer, they asked me and then I'll answer. And then there were a few that I flopped. I know in my heart that I flopped, but then Charlie, we moved. I was so confident. Hey, as for the confidence, yeah, God gave it to me. I was confident in myself that, hey, my ba, I am no slacking. I remember when I was leaving, I asked my friend, who is now my husband, I asked my friend, what question do you think I should ask them if they ask me, do I have any question for them? And he was like, ask them when they want you to start work. And I'm like, hey, now I'm to start out. And then Truly, they asked me. So after the interview, they asked me, "Do you have any questions for us?" And I'm like, "When am I starting work?" And then they were like, they were nodding their heads. I'm like, the interview has gone well, I think. Well, let's see. And then I left the interview. The next day, I was going back to Winneba to continue my national service duties. And then I lost my phone in the car. I'm like, well, Asa, I'm going to, this is bad luck. I just went for an interview yesterday, and for me to have lost my phone, and then I did and I've lost my phone in a taxi. I'm like, Charlie, this is bad luck. I cried. This is bad luck. Little did I know that God had installed something for me. So it was during Christmas break. I was there in Kumasi with my parents. I was braiding somebody's hair, and then a call came through. I was using yam. My friend had given me a yam, and then a call came through from the man who had gone to drop me. And he called me and was like, Juliana, you have been chosen as a candidate for the top candidate for the position, so you've been hired. I'm like, hired? Like how? Like, can you come again? Like, I've been hired to say hired, or is there a second interview that you want me to do some practical sections, or hired like how? And I was like, you've been hired. I'm like, hey, is that how you hire people? Like, is that how you hire people? And I was like, I'm not joking. When can you come to Accra? I said, I can come to Accra today. Today, I can come to Accra. And I was reading somebody say, and then the lady I was reading the was like, are you going to leave me? I said, hey, I'm going to leave you. I left here. I hopped into a VIP. Me coming to Accra, I came to Accra at dawn that day. Charlie, you're near bro. I arrived in Accra that day. The next morning, I went to the office. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, I had been hired. I got the job. Praise the Lord. I had been hired. But the revelation is, I said to myself, and I spoke life into myself. I spoke positivity into myself. I spoke faith into myself. And when I left my first organization, I got another one, and it was another international organization, and that is where I am working now. I have known some people who have worked in international organizations all their lives, who have never worked in a government organization before. Me, if I'm going to work in a government organization, my national service duration will not count because of the experiences I will be bringing on board, and so I'll be highly needed. That is not to say that you shouldn't do your national service. It is not to say that when you have the chance to do your national service, you shouldn't do it. So when I started that first job, I pursued to do my national service during my job, but then I pursued and pursued. I wasn't successful, so I left it. But then it is not to say that you shouldn't do your national service. National service is mandatory according to the laws of Ghana, and so you should do it. But then when you have the opportunity, you may choose to decide to go the way that I went. For me, it has worked for me. Now what I would leave with you is that take everything seriously. Apart from the fact that you are learning, you would also need some experiences. There are a lot of things that the syllables do not teach us. Everybody is aware. The syllables will not teach you how to relate to your fellow human being. The syllables will not teach you how to be a good team player. When you are being put in groups, okay, it teaches you how to be a very good team player. But on the field, how are you going to do it? That is why you need to find ways and means to also do some jobs whilst you are in school. In my next video, I'm going to share with you how I've combined school and working at the same time and making both of them successful, okay? So you can't do 90% here and do 10% here. That is not how it is done. You need to balance your life, and I'm going to share those tips with you. I have completed my master's, and with my master's, I was schooling. I didn't stop working. I schooled and did my master's for 2 years at the same time, and I have completed successfully. So what I'm telling you is, hop on jobs, look for jobs. If it requires you, you may not necessarily be looking for money at this time. Maybe you are fortunate, your parents are able to give you that affordability and comfortability to make you go through school. That is okay. But if you want to get experiences to help your CV very, very enriched, you need some experience, some basic experience, some organizational skills, some high-level administrative skills, some people skills. I mean, all the experiences that you would need. Okay, so look for jobs. Go on the internet, search for jobs in 2021, part-time jobs. online jobs. There are a lot of them these days. If you have to even work in a restaurant, do not see any job as little, and don't see any job as too high for you. Be confident in yourself. Make sure that you are confident in yourself and have faith that yes, you believe in yourself, you can do it. If you have not done a particular job before, that is when you need to go back, relax, look through yourself and ask yourself, how will I be able to go through this? Learn on the job. Okay, and as you consider opportunities and work on them, you realize that there and then you may not really see the impact of whatever you are doing, but when you are done and you see a job application, when you see the job description and the requirements listed, you see that, hey, the experience here, I have had a little experience here. And organizations don't need 100% of everything they have listed on their job descriptions. They need just a small percentage of everything that is in there. That is why you need to be able to acquire some knowledge in every area, and these areas require you to be outside school. So whilst you are in school, be prepared to do things or to do jobs that are below and above you. That is the only way you can develop yourself. And when you are done and you are doing your national service, you do it with your maximum best and you work hard towards it. You'll be faithful, you'll be hardworking, you'll be committed, and everything that requires a normal human being to do well on the job. So yes, that is what I want to share with you today. And let me also encourage you that do not stop learning. The knowledge you are acquiring from your books is very, very important. With the ICT that I minored in, it has helped me so much. Even though it was a minor course, that is how it has even helped me with these YouTubing stuff, with video editing. I'm able to edit my own videos, take my own videos without asking anyone to do it for me. Okay, so learn your books very well, learn it very well, don't stop learning, and pray for the favor of God. Sometimes, or let me say, it's a favor of God that leads you to places. It's a favor of God that gives you favor in the eyes of man. So as you are learning and working hard and looking for opportunities, if you're a believer, pray for favor. And if you are not a believer and whatever you believe in, pray to that God to give you favor, and I recommend Jesus to you. Okay, so this is what I have for you today. Watch out for my next video where I share with you how you can combine school and working at the same time without failing at one. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope my story has been encouraging and I hope you've learned a few tips from here. Thank you all so much for being with me today, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.